Hi, my name's Nathan Outlaw. I'm chef here at restaurant Nathan Outlaw in Rock, Cornwall. The first recipe I'm going to do is Davidstow Classic Scones with grilled figs, pickled celery and some summery leaves. To make my classic cheese scone recipe, you're going to need self-raising flour, milk, butter, Cornish sea salt, Davidstow Classic Cheddar. So the first thing we'll do is add the self-raising flour to the bowl. Then we're going to add the unsalted butter and a pinch of Cornish sea salt. Now we add this to the machine, and then using the paddle attachment, let's give it a mix. Start off on a low speed first and work the butter into the flour until all the butter's gone and you get a sandy texture. Okay, so once the butter and the flour are incorporated together, we'll add the classic Davidstow cheddar to the mix. As soon as the cheese is incorporated into the mix, we add the milk. At this point, as soon as the dough is formed, you want to stop the machine, otherwise you'll overwork the mix. Okay, so once all the ingredients are incorporated together and a dough is formed, you take the mix off the machine and then using a scraper and some flour, flour your board and then scrape the mix out onto the board. Now at this point, you're going to make sure that you can handle it so that you cut it. You give it a mix on the board, make sure it's flour covering, and as soon as it's not sticking to your hands, it's ready to be patted down and then cut into scone shapes. Okay, take your rolling pin, and what we want, because the self-raising flour is in there, it will rise quite high. So we can go down to about a centimetre and we will still get a lovely rise on the scone. So take yourself a well-greased tray with greaseproof paper on. Get yourself a nice cutter. You don't have to be this size, you can use any size you want, but today I'm using this. And stamp your scone mix. Don't turn. If you twist, your scones will be wonky. Okay, so once you've cut your scones, you want to transfer them to the tray to be baked in the oven. Once you've got the scones onto the tray, you want to brush them with a little bit of milk. And finally, just a little bit of cheese on top. Now they're ready to go in the oven at 220 degrees for about 15 minutes. Okay, so the scones have come out of the oven. They've been in there for about 12 minutes and they're cooked. And what we'll do is we'll let them cool down, and as soon as they're cool, we'll finish off the recipe. Okay, so the classic cheese scones are now baked. The next thing we need to do is to make the fillings. So to do the pickled celery, we need to make the pickling liquor first, which is 1 part white wine vinegar, 1 part white wine, 1 part water, and then 1 part sugar. And finally, I've got some toasted fennel seeds, which are just a nice sort of flavour that goes very well with the celery. Now we're going to put that onto the stove, and we're going to bring it to the boil, let it cool down, and then add the celery. Okay, so the next filling for the cheese scones is just some sliced fresh figs. And finally, the last thing we need is obviously some crackler cheese, which we're just going to cut into slices to go on top. So now we've got all our fillings ready, the next thing is to build them and to get them under the grill so we can gratinate them off and they're ready to eat. Now we'll take some of our celery and just lay it on one half, the other half's going to be the top. That's followed by a slice of the Davidstow crackler cheese, and then finally we'll add some of the sliced figs. Top that off with one more slice of crackler cheese. Now they're ready to go under the grill for about 2 minutes just to melt them off. Okay, so the scones are now grilled and they're ready to be plated up. Add a bit more celery to the dish, and then we've got a few sort of summery micro leaves. Finish the salad off with a little bit of extra virgin rapeseed oil, and there you have it. My classic cheese scones with grilled figs and pickled celery, perfect for a summer picnic and especially good for National Picnic Week. For more of my Davidstow cheese recipes, please go to davidstowcheddar.co.uk or follow us on Twitter at Davidstow Cheese.